Hey, once again, my name is Isma Soankambo, and I do welcome you back again to my YouTube channel. In this video today, we'll particularly look at a particular strategy that actually doesn't involve analyzing the currency pairs or particular individual currency pairs, but then requires a consultation or analysis of particularly one index. Okay, that's of course the dollar index. Okay, it's actually abbreviated as the USDX, so it's the US dollar index, and basically the US dollar index is a measure of the dollar's value relative to the 6 foreign currencies as measured by their exchange rates. So we're going to analyze the US dollar index, and then if we're really in position to know where the US dollar index, then we are in position again now to see how other related various currency pairs that move or that are influenced by the way the US dollar index moves. So this strategy really works out one with the US dollar index, that is the USDX, and then it also works with the Euro USD currency pair. It again works with the GBP USD currency pair, and then lastly works with the US dollar Swiss franc, okay, or US dollar CHF. So one, what we're supposed to do, or your job here, you as a trader now, is to particularly analyze only the USD X or the US dollar index. And now when you know where the US dollar index, then the next job that you're supposed to do is to come on again now to pairs like Euro USD, USD CHF, and GBP USD. So these ones actually do have a correlation that can either be a negative correlation or a positive correlation. The degree at which actually these individual currency pairs move relatively to the US dollar index. So it's actually very simple, as we're going to see in this video. So if you're really not subscribed for this this channel, please do, because we really want you to be among those people that are apparently notified. Probably that's after the subscription, the subscription, to be one of those guys that will be notified about every literal and every video that we shall be releasing on this channel. Again, you can also follow us on other various social media platforms with links below this particular video, or contact us for more info in this particular video. So right now we are going to the platform, and we see how we can practically do this hands-on and see how we can really make money out of this simple strategy. As we reach on to our strategy, and what we apparently can see on our graph is the US dollar index. It is denoted by USDX, as you can see. That is on trading view. Okay, that is on trading view. That is on trading view. Yes, this is on trading view, and our analysis for the US dollar index is that one, we're experiencing a resistance as I get my my pen. So now the US dollar index one is experiencing some resistance levels here, or a resistance level here, and again we've also been seeing it trending upwards. Remember, this strategy involves only analyzing the US dollar index, and then after doing so on the US dollar index, will now be in position to know where Euro USD is going, where the GBP USD is going, and also where the USD CHF currency pairs are actually going. So it's as simple as that. So it's a matter of you basically analyzing onto just the US dollar index, and usually they actually move appropriately, like as we have started in our narrative. So as due to our analysis as of now, okay, as of now, we're experiencing some resistance along this particular level. That's about 99.081. And we have actually again been seeing our USDX moving in trend, that has been trending upwards, as you can see, and as I'm particularly showing to you. So, as due to some of the principles of technical analysis, we know that as markets are actually trending upwards, they do actually create the impulse and retracement waves, or as they rather proceed onto the particular direction as we see. So, as again, due to the principles of technical analysis, we see ourselves talking about history repeating itself, and which we apparently see onto the chart. So what the move, usually the market was breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Usually this, we call it the impulse, and then this we call it the retracement. You can call it a retracement level, you can call it an impulse or a pullback. Okay, so whatever the case, it's all the same thing. So now we're experiencing breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. So if it is the condition to basically breathe in, breathe out, so we're experiencing some resistance here, as we did as well at this point, as we did at this point, as we did along this point. So we're most probably experiencing a resistance here, and the only thing now we expect our USDX to do is pulling back or breathing out, okay, back to this particular resistance level. And the opportunity that we see here when we are trading is now to sell onto this USD, the US dollar index. So we are actually selling the US dollar index. Now this goes back to this what we have been doing. So it doesn't matter which ways you actually determine to where the next move is actually going to go, but whatever the case, if the US dollar index is moving in a downward trend, okay, we expect also the euro to move. Actually, the euro has to be moving in the opposite direction. So if we see the US dollar index moving down, as we expect at this particular point, because now we expect it to reach or come back at this our trending support. So if we expect it to, as we expect a short on this move, okay, so usually I do my analysis using the multiple time frame analysis. So I do my analysis in a daily chart, and then move back to a daily, I do the analysis in the daily chart and then move back down to 1 hour time frame chart, and then execute my orders there. So with this, we come to conclusion by saying, due to the resistance level and due to the principles of technical analysis, we now expect the market of the US dollar index to actually be a short. So if I'm experiencing a short on the US dollar index, usually most forex traders cannot execute orders probably on the US dollar index, but then they can execute these orders on the MT4 on the various currency pairs. So we're using the US dollar index, since to some of us we can't execute these particular orders. So we're taking advantage of the information that we're borrowing from the indices, and then we replicate, we borrow, and now we put in action, okay, what we see. So fact being that when we are selling the US dollar index, it's automatically that we should buy the euro USD, and then we should again buy on the GBP USD, but you should actually sell on the USD CHF. So we see USD CHF and the US dollar index actually moving in the same direction. So if I'm shorting here, rather if I'm selling here, then I'm also supposed to sell on the USD CHF currency pair. So if I'm selling on the USD US dollar index, then I'm particularly supposed to buy on euro USD, and also the same to GBP USD. So what we do here with Euro USD and GBP USD, we see totally a negative correlation coefficients. So we see a negative correlation. By this, we are actually saying that if this is actually coming down, that's the dollar index, then we're going to see the Euro USD coming up. So since they are moving in the negative direction, so we always call this a negative correlation. So they have a negative correlation coefficients. So it's a matter of you analyzing one instrument and then giving you opportunity to trade the three asset classes, you know, or three instrument or asset classes, or you borrowing one information from one asset class security or tradable security to, and then borrow it and then trade it to the other different security. So let's see what I'm particularly talking about, because some people will be like, we really need, you know what, Ismail, we really need to see this. So let's get on to and check out. Remember, on US dollar index we are shorting. So let's see what happens on the pair Euro USD. We will again see what happens on GBP USD, and again we shall see what happens, or how the USD chief currency pair chart looks like, and then see if we're seeing the same picture, we're seeing what our imaginations are, or our analysis is telling us on that particular pair. So let me wrap this, and then we proceed on to check out with Euro USD. Remember, here we are shorting, so we are probably must be buying on Euro USD. Let's see if there is some patterns, or let's say if there is some coordination, or let's see if there is something that is really showing some signs of buying on Euro USD, okay, which is a negative correlation with the US dollar index. So as I look for Euro USD, so today I decided to use TradingView. Okay, I decided to use TradingView, but the same happens to the MT4. So we look for our Euro USD. So here is our Euro USD, and as we deploy it onto our chart, yes, as we deploy our Euro USD onto our chart, you will actually see that the US dollar index, let's go back and show you with the US dollar index. So with the US dollar index, we see our chart trending upwards, and then when it comes to Euro USD currency pair, so you're going to see that Euro USD currency pair is actually trending downwards, okay, which actually brings it out clearly that as the US dollar index is trending upwards, then this one is trending downwards, and the opposite, if the trends are actually moving alternatively on a different move, that is if. So when we deploy our, if we can actually deploy, when we deploy our trend line, okay, as we did, so here we actually see that we are having, to follow the same principles. We follow the same principles. Okay, here the trend is actually downwards. Okay, so we again expect this. So it is trending downwards, and then we expect it still to be a buy. So where it is, we expect it to come back to where there is our resistance this time round. So here it's a buy, and the other side it's a sell. So that's how we actually do trade on this particular strategy, with uneasy ways, rather steps to follow when we are actually trading with it. So it is actually very simple. You deploy the same. If you're buying here, make sure you sell here, okay? And then when we again also look at the GBP USD, it is totally, or it's also moving the same way as the Euro USD. So let's get it and then also see if it's really what we are trying to look out for. Yes, so as we get our GBP USD, you'll also realize that Euro USD, rather GBP USD, is also trending downwards, as we saw Euro USD, which is the same case, following the same technical principles. We actually see again a perfect buy, because here, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, and then we expect it to come back to this particular major resistance, okay, which is both trending and horizontal. So we see ourselves buying from here and then expecting probably to reach at this point. So you see that we're in position to determine all these entries by basically looking at only the US dollar index, hence giving us which particular orders should we execute, not because we have analyzed the GBP USD, not because you have analyzed the Euro USD, but because of only you analyzing the US dollar index, you can come to conclusion to determine your entries exit. It's very simple, but again, when you're doing this, don't also forget to do rather to deploy your risk money management when you are trading onto this. Not just a matter of course, some people actually forget this, okay? So lastly, we can look at the USD and see if it's really also making the same sense as to our narrative of this particular strategy, the index currency trading strategy, okay? So that's the name for this, and it's one of the easiest way of you determining. So it's a matter of you following. Actually, it's a matter of you concentrating at only the US dollar index, focus on it, and always you will know what to do with the mentioned currency pairs when you are trading. It's very simple, it's very clear, okay? So as I also get to USD, it's actually, we're actually seeing that the USD is actually moving the same direction. We are actually selling on USD because it literally moves the same direction as the US dollar index. As you can clearly see, okay, it's actually also trending upwards as something that we really saw with the US dollar index. So hope you find really this interesting. If you do, please like, share, and subscribe. Okay, for more info, please contact us with the links, rather with the information below this video, and hope you really learn from this. Thank you so much. But again, before we conclude, make sure you do your good risk management, money management, and also always find reasons as to why you actually always risk what is appropriate for your trading account, that is deploying the good risk money management. Thank you so much. Hope you really love this video. I do sign out. Bye bye.